All right. Hello, everyone. Let's give this another try. So, everyone knows me, I hope. Well, I have this set as public, so maybe you're sharing it. My name is Shari Reef. I live in Wisconsin. I am a director with Neolife International, and I also am the blog owner of Shari's Low Carb Kitchen. So, I have been using Neolife whole food supplements for 10 years now, and they've made a huge impact on our life. And last November, my husband and I decided to take our family to eat low carb with higher healthy fat, and that has done a huge amount on our health. And from that, I was posting my recipes and things that we were eating, and people just were asking for the recipes. So my blog was born, and then a Facebook group was born, and it's been a lot of fun. And so one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to interview some people for like Testimony Tuesday, Wellness Wednesdays. I wanted to interview people that are having success with eating the low carb way, also with if they've used Neolife. And we were supposed to do this last Wednesday, but Facebook had some glitches and all the videos and everything were goofed up and you couldn't see any pictures. So that ended up pushing this back. And today is finally going to work. I have to do this on my phone because my computers were not cooperating, so we were having some technical difficulties. But today I have the pleasure of interviewing Miss Maggie Lee, and she has become a dear friend of mine through her brother, who is also a dear friend of our families. And she has been doing really well with eating low carb, and it's made a great impact on her life, and she also uses some Neolife. And so I am really excited to let everyone hear her testimony. So I'm going to bring her on screen now. If there's any technical difficulties or anything, I apologize. This is the first time doing it, but I'm really excited. So give me 1 second and let me bring Maggie on. All right, let's see. So I think we should have her in a minute. It says it's adding her, so let's see. There she is. Hello. I can't hear you.
Oh, I said hi?
There you go. I can hear you. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad we finally got this to be able to work. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I gave you a little bit of an introduction, but tell us a little bit of your background. And you're a cancer survivor, correct?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Yes.
So maybe
Okay,
share some of that.
I will. My name is Maggie Lee. I am 58 years old. When I turned 50, I had a knee replaced, and because my other one was bad, actually saved my life because my knee gave out and I discovered pain in my breast, went to my doctor, had things checked out. It turned out it was cancer. So I had a bilateral mastectomy, even though only one side had cancer. I just wanted to get them both gone and done. So that was 8 years ago. I am a 7.5 year survivor because it got diagnosed in November. This June 28th, I was 7 years cancer free, which is awesome.
Yay.
I've always struggled with my weight, not like as a little kid, but from adulthood on. After I got out of the Army, I was in the Army for 4 years.
Thank you.
And after I got out, it just kind of, I had issues. And I tried different things, and I generally eat healthy, or what I thought was healthy. And it's true. And unfortunately, I had some financial setbacks in my life. So I received food share or food stamps, whatever you want to call it. And good food can be expensive. So what do you end up buying? The cheap stuff, which is carbs, which just makes you big. So in talking with my brother, Michael, who you know very well, and you and he are friends, he had been talking to me about this, and I kind of back and forth would try whatever, and I just didn't think it would work well. Then my son and daughter-in-law started doing low carb, and because I was here babysitting, I would do it with them, and I thought, well, this really isn't so tough. Talked to Michael. He ended up hooking me up with you. I talked to you, figured out a place to start with. And I noticed before I noticed anything else happening as far as clothes or anything, that I felt a lot better. And that was the big thing for me
Okay.
because I don't think I have felt better in the last 8 years because chemo just does such nasty things to your body that you don't realize how rotten you feel till you feel better.
Right.
And I feel amazing. I'm very happy. And I did do a weigh-in recently. I gone to my doctor and found out that it was 16 pounds,
Awesome.
which is awesome. But I checked again, and it is now 20 pounds.
Woo!
And I know so weight doesn't bother me. So I'm going to share with you. I now weigh 330 pounds, and I have not been below 350 since I can remember.
Good for you.
So that for me is awesome. I know I love it. I noticed some of my clothes fit better, clothes I wore last summer. But the thing I like best is it's so easy.
Right.
It's easy, and I get to have all the things I thought I couldn't have anymore.
There you go.
I can have salt again. I can have whole milk. I can have cottage cheese. I can have my fats that I love and the meat. And excuse me. And I love it. But I will say seriously, the best thing is that I feel better. And my sweet brother hooks me up with a lot of good stuff. He gets me the vitamins, and when I remember to take them, I do.
Yep.
I'm very excited, and I'm going to keep doing this because it's my lifestyle. It's not a diet, and that's where I think people get confused with any weight loss program they're doing.
Yep.
It needs to be a lifestyle change, and this is such an easy one.
Yeah.
That I'm very happy.
So when you went through the chemo and then the mastectomies, how did that affect you from like before you were sick and then obviously see I've never had that, so but I understand it takes a huge toll on your body, your energy level, and then
it does. I have chronic fatigue, and everybody but an oncologist will tell you, well, that's nothing. That's not real. You're making it up.
Right.
But it does. It is very hard for me, and I have gotten more energy now. And part of it, because I've lost weight, but also because I'm eating different.
Yes.
And my body is getting what it needs to give me the energy.
Yes.
So it was devastating in many ways. It changes your life. And for me, honestly, I think in a better way because I look at what's truly important in my life now.
Mm.
Where before it was like, oh yeah, well, I can do this or that, whatever.
Right.
But I could have died. I didn't, thank God.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad.
Yes.
It was caught early enough. But it was hard. The fact that while I was going through chemo, I couldn't keep anything down. Because I had an aggressive type of breast cancer and because it was an aggressive chemo treatment. So I got dehydrated, and that was really rough, and I would keep trying, and my son did his best to take care of me, but he was also working, so that was hard, because it's been me and him since he was 2.
Yep.
So he was my support system immediately. Obviously, the rest of my family was there for me, and I had many friends, and that was amazing. But since recovery, it has been difficult because you go through a lot of emotional things you don't really realize. And I have battled with depression and anxiety for most of my life, but it was never really an issue until after I had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't, before I could always like pray it away or sing or something and I could get through it. And the prayer wasn't helping, but I couldn't get past it. I was basically, my brain was stuck in fight or flight.
Yep. Okay.
Constantly.
Yep.
And I didn't realize that's what it was. Talked to an amazing, she's a doctor through Bellin. It's Dr. Mary Connolly, and she's also a nutritionist, and she's just an amazing lady. She realized my vitamin D was non-existent. I didn't even register when they did it. So I took it. Life is good. I take it. I need to probably go back on it. I've been off it a while, I will be honest. And I just had my blood work done, and it was lower again. It's still in the safe range, but it's low. So but that'll be another thing, you know,
Yep.
and I'll deal with that. But I since doing this, since starting this, my emotions are better. Um, I don't have as much anxiety. I don't, and I know you told me this, but I'm gonna put it out there anyway. The lack of inflammation is amazing.
Yep.
I have arthritis in my hands and my feet and other joints, but my right hand has been always bad. I broke the thumb and wrist when I was in the army, and it never got set right. So, but I can look at it, and most days it's just, it hurts. And you can see looking at my hand how much bigger, and it isn't anymore.
Yeah.
It's not as swollen. I mean, it still hurts sometimes, but
Sure.
so that is amazing. You know, my knees don't hurt as much, even though they're fake knees. The muscles and everything around them don't hurt as much.
Still got some real things going on there.
Titanium and plastic don't feel pain. So,
oh, we just froze. You froze up just for a minute. There you are.
I have been, yeah, I have been so much happier. And I am so grateful to have stumbled upon this, you know, to just kind of happen to hook up with you and to hear from Michael and other people. And I really enjoyed the group because we all help each other.
Yep.
And that's what I like about it.
Well, and I have to tell you, I was talking to Michael recently, and he is over the moon proud of you. And he just sees the changes in you and your personality. And so it's wonderful. And I know you feel even better when you remember to take the Pro Vitality, and that's awesome. Yeah. And so, you know, you said that it really wasn't hard. Before you started changing your lifestyle this way, what was a normal day of eating for you? I mean, like, what type of foods did you consume? You know, and these are things that your dietitian probably told you that were healthy. So what? Tell us a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so don't have a heart attack now.
I won't.
Okay. I mean, I would get meat. Okay. You know, obviously, I eat chicken, pork, beef. I don't care. There hasn't been an animal. I don't like the way it tastes. But because meat can be pricey, it was always combined with either potatoes, rice, or pasta.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And a lot of times, if I didn't have a lot of money, then I would do I would get rice, because that can go with anything. And I would get a can of kidney beans, and then a can of stewed tomatoes with garlic and basil. And that would be my supper. Mm-hmm. And I pretty much have only eaten one meal a day for a long time. And I never was much of a breakfast person. But I find now that while I still may not eat early in the morning when I get up, it might be 11 or 12, but I'm satisfied. That's the difference. So I mean, like I said, I would try. I love fruit and vegetables, and I would try to eat a lot of that as well, you know, to not buy the junk food, but I did. You know, I'm human, and I ate it. I ate the chips, I ate the bread, I ate because as a little kid growing up, that's what you're told.
Right, exactly.
You know, you don't need to fill up on meat. Eat some bread, eat some potatoes.
Those grains are so good for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I admit it, I do love them. And so tonight, I had, I think, a tablespoon of rotini pasta because my daughter-in-law made homemade Alfredo. Okay. And it was very good, and some chicken. But when I do that, it feels like I'm letting myself cheat, but I'm really not. And I'm still staying within my less than 20 carbs.
That's awesome. So
yeah, I would.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's okay.
I was just going to say, so in the Low Carb Kitchen group that we created on Facebook, a bunch of us did the 2-week Diet Doctor Challenge. And for those of you that aren't familiar, Diet Doctor is a really great website where there's MDs and scientists, and there's a lot of information about eating ketogenically, eating low carb, high fat, because there's different macro levels, and they have a slew of great recipes. But they offer this 2-week challenge where meals are laid out for you for 2 weeks. You can obviously sub them out. But Maggie, you did that with us. And
yeah,
I know when you and I would.
Before that, I was doing I was doing 42 carbs
Yep.
because my big finger wouldn't let me hit 40. But that was my limit before that.
Yep.
And when I first started, I'm like, how am I going to do this? I keep going so close to being over. And then once we started, it was like, I didn't even go near the 20 most days.
Right. Yep. And so, and I know, so you found, and did that help you to see that eating this way of life isn't as difficult as most people might think, or as scary, or as challenging? I mean, did that
Definitely.
really help get you and kind of let you see
Yeah,
the types of foods and maybe different ways that you could add more fat so that you'd be more satiated?
exactly.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
So I'm so glad that you did that with us as the group, because that was my hope for the people that were doing that, is that they would see um, and kind of have that guide to help them get their feet wet on how to do that. Now,
Right.
now
Exactly.
I know you are on a limited budget. So do you find this is more challenging to fit into your budget? Easy to fit into your budget, or kind of the same as before when you were eating, say, the standard American diet, the SAD way? So how do you find that?
Actually, what I found is that it's cheaper.
Okay.
It's cheaper for me to eat like this, and I am more satisfied. I'm not getting as hungry,
That's awesome.
but it took me a while to learn. It took me a while to learn that carbs lie to you.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
They make you want them, and then they make you hungry. And then when you're hungry, they make you want more of them.
Yep.
So, now I can have bacon when I want, which I love the pig. The pig is good.
Pig is good.
It is. I can have eggs, I can have some cottage cheese or nuts, which I do love nuts anyway. I mean, I've always liked all these foods.
Yep.
And so, I mean, I've been very fortunate that way, because a lot of people may struggle if they don't like a lot of the different protein options that are out there and
Right.
fat options.
Right. Exactly.
Again, having one of them like. So for that part, it was easy.
Good.
But I noticed, because looking at, because every time you get the receipt, you have the balance left on there. I'm actually saving money because I'm not buying all the garbage
That's awesome.
food, and it's not like gone,
And that's,
because you're hungry and you eat it.
yep. And that's so encouraging for you to say, because I'm very careful where I get any of my information from, and any
Yep.
information that I share on my blog. I make sure that it's from very reputable sources that might not necessarily have conflict of interest, or like be backed by the agriculture industry, because
Right.
but you will see some of these people that, oh, keto or low carb is extremely expensive, you have to buy all these foods, and but you're saying you're actually
Don't forget
saving
that.
money. So that
Yeah, I
is
am. Yeah.
that is awesome. Now, you said you recently had your doctor appointment, and I was really excited about the numbers. Would you mind sharing
Yeah.
your lab numbers, because I was totally floored. I was a little bit nervous, because sometimes those doctors, especially when you're losing weight like you're losing, numbers can be
Right.
all over the board, and then they
Right.
might try to then discourage you, but that's not what you found. It
Right.
was a very encouraging appointment. So could
It
you
was, and my
share that?
doctor is awesome. I would, but I don't know how to pull it up, and I don't have it with me.
But your numbers were all really good. They were within
they were
range.
all well within the ranges of everything.
Perfect.
And they were very low. Which again, as we know with cholesterol, is neither here nor there in some cases, but they were all very encouraging, and my doctor was very happy, and I told him what I was doing, and he said, keep doing it. You're doing good. That's amazing. I'm very happy for you.
Good.
And I was telling him the same thing, like, that carbs lie. And if you knew my doctor, it would crack, because he's just this kind of guy, and he gets right up and looks at me and goes, they do. They are liars. And so he cracks me up. I have like the best doctor ever. He has been with me through everything since my son was 2 years old, and we first saw him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he's been very encouraging with everything I've tried to do. Never made me feel bad about my weight, ever. Good. Never, ever did. Always just told me, that, being heavy is hard on your organs, and we know that because it puts them under more stress.
Yep.
But he said inactivity is worse.
Right.
Than being heavy.
Exactly.
And for quite a while, though, I was in both those shoes, so I was nervous.
Mm-hmm.
But this has helped me, and I did get the results back from the calcium scoring.
Yes.
And
share.
There's no number. There's nothing.
Yay!
There's nothing. And it said, all I have is a small hiatal hernia. And I'm like, well, maybe that's why I burp all the time. I don't know. I don't care.
That's
You know,
awesome.
so I'm real happy with that because there too I was concerned
Right?
because of the past
Yep.
and how I did eat. And because I, Googled to see what really, not that I believe Dr. Google, because I don't.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
But I will get like reputable information.
Correct.
And I was looking, okay, what causes the calcium scoring in your heart? What makes that? Well, it was all those things I was doing.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
but just these, since I started this in May, is when I started watching more what I would eat
Yep.
and being aware of the macros.
Yep.
So from May to now, obviously, whatever was there has cleared up if there was anything.
So does this mean
So,
your statins
no, I'm
are
very
going
happy.
bye-bye?
I believe so.
Yay! That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, I'm going to talk to them and because they frighten me. I mean, yes, having a stroke would frighten me as well.
Right.
But if I don't need them, I don't want to take them.
Well, and
I
they,
don't,
they
'cause I
add
don't
to
need more
depression. Exactly. And statins can add to
Yeah.
depression and stuff too, especially in a woman. So basically you started in May and we're only maybe a week into July. You're 20 pounds down. Your numbers are phenomenal. Your calcium score is
Yep.
great. You glow.
And my mood is better.
And your mood is better.
My mood is better.
Michael said you're
It is.
moving faster.
I am.
So
I still have trouble taking a giant step, like to get into his front door. But most of that is my balance.
You get to the door faster. That's the big thing.
And I get in.
That is
right.
awesome. That is awesome. And it fits into your budget. You're saving money. So overall, it sounds like it's a win-win. Where do you see this lifestyle? I mean, and I'm so glad that you did say, like, it's a lifestyle. So many people say, I'm going on the keto diet just to, lose the weight. And then, they plan to go back to the old way of eating, which is what got them into trouble in the first place. So,
and people don't get that.
How do you see your lifestyle going forward? Where do you see yourself going? And what are some goals that you have set for yourself?
Okay. Well, I have many. And actually, goals are something I've always struggled with because I'm a bit ADD. Okay, I admit that wholeheartedly. And anyone who knows me already knows I am. So it's true. Planning things ahead are hard. But what I'm doing is my first goal was to get below 350, which I've done.
Yay.
My next is to get below 300. Then there will be a party, let me tell you.
Awesome.
And I may even treat myself to some keto ice cream that I make because
there you go.
Hey, but what I see is that not only am I going to lure more of my family members in that aren't, I also have friends and other because they're noticing, and that to me makes me feel so good because they're going, wow, you look so healthy. Not, oh, you look nice, but you look so healthy. I'm like, well, let me tell you how. And so I do. So I could be the keto lifestyle poster girl.
There you go.
But because I enjoy it. This isn't all a bunch of just say so and the lip service. It's actually true and I'm living it. And my goal is to be all around generally healthier, to get my weight to a reasonable level, not crazy, because I will never be your size, but I was never meant to be. And that's okay.
That's okay. You're
if my ideal weight, if I could get down, well, if I ever got under 200, I'd throw a big party too. And I will one day.
You will.
But I could never weigh less than 150. Yeah. I couldn't because my bone structure is wrong for that. And then I'm older and I'm okay with that. Yep. But you start to look a little weird. So I don't want to be like a stick person. That's not me.
Nope.
My grandsons will miss my comfiness, but it'll be made up for with other things. But I want to be able to walk more. I want to be able to take my dog for a walk and not be exhausted.
Good.
He deserves that. He deserves to be able to go run and play, and he deserves an owner who can do those things with him.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I want to be healthier. I want to keep this up, and I want to help other people to see the difference that it can make for them.
Well, that's awesome.
And I appreciate that you do the research that you do, because that's what I always tell people. It's like there's science behind this.
Yep.
This is not just somebody talking out of their butt. There's actual real facts and science behind that makes this a workable thing. And I have a lot of friends who are diabetic and who have other issues. And thankfully, for the giant healthy girl I've been, my blood sugar has never been out of whack.
That's awesome.
Doesn't mean it wouldn't have happened eventually.
Right.
But I've been very fortunate that way. But I have a lot of friends who do have that issue, and I tell them, like, just try it. Try it. Give yourself a couple weeks and just try it and see.
Yep.
And Francis and I just made some awesome butter cookies the other night, and they came out really fun. Him and Otto, who was littler, they were eating the dough. And I'm like, you know, you have to save some because great grandma got out of the hospital today.
Oh, yay.
And they call her Gaga. And I said, you got to save some for Gaga. And I said, but I want to eat it all. But you can't. So we made them, and I made them tiny. They're just like
Sure.
little, like about that big.
Yep.
Little like one bite cookies,
Yep.
but they're so good.
They're so good.
And we had fun making them, and I can eat them and not feel bad.
Exactly. And
You know, that's the thing.
just think of the impact that you're making on your grandsons and where their health
Right.
is
Well,
going to be. So
yeah.
that is absolutely amazing. And you know, it's kind of funny because if you would have asked me a year ago, um,
Yeah.
actually a friend of mine that I met, she was all, "Oh, I'm keto," and I was like, "Oh, you're crazy. That is
One of
dangerous
those
and
weirdos.
that is awful. And
Pardon me.
how could you do that?" But again, I was hearing people that were talking out of their butt and doing
Right.
it dangerous and the fad
The
way.
unsafe way. Yeah.
Exactly. And so then when finally I stumbled upon Dr. Fung's research, and for anyone that would like a really good book to read and learn how the hormones work, the obesity code is what turned me on to all of this. And that's what led me down this whole rabbit trail last October. That was solid science. And
Yeah.
that is why I am now so picky about where I get my research
Right.
and what I share,
Mhm.
because I don't want to be one of those people that was
Right.
scaring, you know, me, because I'm like, oh my
Excuse me.
gosh, if I did that to my husband who's a type 1 diabetic, this would be
Right.
awful. And so
Right. Yeah.
right. And I was just like, you guys are crazy. And but now seeing the science, the true science behind it, and understanding how our
Right.
bodies
Right.
work and everything, it just, that's my passion. Is That's why I share Neolife, and stay on your pro
Yeah. And it's
vitality,
good.
and that's why
Yep.
I share this diet, because no matter what, you can take as many, and Neolife is the best, and you can take as many Neolife supplements as you want,
It is.
but if you don't have a good diet, you can't outrun,
It's not going to matter.
you can't. And I'm
Right.
living proof of that, because
Inevitable.
I love Neolife and I lost a lot of weight. I got down to a size 8, but my metabolism tanked because I was cutting my calories, and I gained all of that back.
Right.
And in November of
Yep.
last year, my 14s were cutting into my sides. And that's when I knew I had to, and
Yeah.
I hadn't changed anything. I had been doing the same that got me to lose all that. And now since then, I'm down
Right.
to a size 4, staying on my
Wow,
Neolife,
which is so amazing.
just staying.
That is. And like you
Exactly.
can wear those rings again. How cool
I
is that?
know. And so I stay on my Neolife and pretty much just cutting out grains and gluten and
Yeah.
the
And
processed
the processed foods.
foods. So we're just
That's
eating
the
whole
biggest
foods.
thing.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. So, well, I have taken up enough of your time. This is going to impact.
We could go on for
I
hours.
know. It is so cool because I figured out how to download this so that I can actually put it on
Oh, goodness.
YouTube and upload it to my
Sweet.
blog. So this is going to go on my blog tonight, and you are going to get your
Awesome.
wish of impacting a lot of people. A lot of
Yes.
people are going
I
to be
hope so.
very happy to hear your testimony. And I thank you for being the first guest on Shari's Low Carb Kitchen Testimony Tuesday. And I'm so
Thank you.
excited.
I appreciate that because I love to learn. And what I love more than learning is to take what I've learned and help someone else.
That is-
So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this
is
and to be
awesome.
able to do that. I appreciate it.
Well, I knew as soon as I saw your test scores from your doctor's appointment,
Yep.
and it was put on my heart that I needed to do this because I was trying to figure out how do we reach more people. And you know, I thought, well, these
Right.
live videos will be great, and then I can put them onto my blog. But I knew that Maggie had to be my first guest because you have
Oh, thank
been
you.
the person that I have seen have the biggest impact in the shortest
Thank
amount
you.
of time. I mean, Michael is getting
I know, isn't that crazy?
terrific
It
results,
blows my mind.
but you have just made this huge leaps and
Thank you.
bounds in this short amount of time.
Well, and it's been with the support of a lot of people too, because that makes a
It
difference.
does, and that's one of
You
the
know,
reasons
you
that we
have to
have the
have-
group, is so that we can have that
Yep.
that support, because
And it works.
we all
It
need
does.
that support. So I want to
Yes,
thank you
we do.
so much. Is there anything else that you want to add before we say our goodbyes?
Just I would like to reiterate of how important this has been in my life and how I am so happy that it is my way of living now. It really has made a difference. It's also quite warm in the kitchen, so that's why I'm all red. Um,
Well, I'm
so,
outside
but no,
because
it
my
really has.
computer wouldn't work, so I figured I'm just going to go outside.
Well, there you go. But no, and you can, if you choose to, I don't have a problem. You can share my scores
Okay,
if you want to pull it off the page. You can share it, yeah, because
great.
I don't care.
Thank you. I will put
I'm
that.
fine with that. If that will help someone for a visual, I'm all for it.
I thank you for your permission. I will put that on the blog post along with
You
the
are
link to the
welcome.
video.
All right.
All right. Well, I will let you get back to your grandsons, and you have a most wonderful
Okay.
evening. Again, thank you so much for sharing your story and spending a little time with us.
You're welcome, Shari. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Have a good night. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.